classic rock. Jeff and Jeremy in the morning. 93.3 KZOZ FM, San Luis Obispo. Rocks.
Oh, yeah. Something's going on that's not quite clear. I feel like I'm 7 years old sitting in the back of my mom's 1982 Mercury Capri, sliding around on those plastic seats.
The Mercury Capri was a Ford Mustang, right? Essentially.
It was the Mercury, was Ford Mercury. It was, like GMC Chevrolet.
Yeah, but Mercury just did like knockoff of the other Ford vehicles.
Maybe.
I forget what the Tempo was called, but the Tempo
that was a Ford Tempo.
Right, but the Mercury equivalent of the Tempo.
Was it the Lancer?
I don't know.
Was it the Mercury Lancer? It might have been the Mercury Lancer.
Beats me.
Yeah, it might have been.
They still do that.
How about this? Are you going tonight?
No.
What do you mean no? What do you mean no?
No,
it's the voice of a generation, Jeff.
School night.
School night. Well, I'm going tonight. So I'm gonna be dancing on the ceiling.
I have zero interest. I mean, this put me to sleep, man.
I might fall asleep.
All night long. The song is like about partying all night long, and it's still a snooze fest. You know? I mean, it's about hey, all night long, but it still puts you to sleep.
How about this one? This is a good one. You remember this one?
No.
This one will get you up and moving. Now, there's gonna be a bunch of grandmas at this thing.
Is his daughter going to be there? That's my question. I like her.
Nicole Richie, right?
I've always been a big fan.
She wears a lot of shirts with no bras. That's what I know about her.
Fine with that.
Yeah. That's all I know about her. And she looks a little gaunt all the time. Who's she married to? Isn't she married to one of those punk rock guys?
Think Fall Out Boy lead singer, maybe, or maybe no, Good Charlotte lead singer. One of the two.
I think it's Good Charlotte.
Okay.
Wasn't he the one that went down in the plane crash?
What?
And burned up, but he survived.
What?
I don't know. We're gonna have to look up the Wikipedia page or something. So I wasn't prepared for this conversation until you brought her up, and then I started thinking about her pokies, and then her gaunt face, and her boyfriend, her husband. Hi, good morning. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, I know what you're referring to. I think you're talking about the Blue Oyster Cult concert, not Lionel.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, they're going to be there tonight. 2 shows, 6:30 and 8:30.
That is better.
And so you can go rock out, but you could catch both. I'm excited. I love me some Lionel Richie.
Yeah, but what's the point of catching both? Like Blue Oyster Cult's going to bring you up, and then you're going to go over to the grandstand and be like, this.
Say it forever, Jeff. Come on. Say it together. I'm working on that. I got to get the words right. Oh, this is good stuff.
Okay, so Lionel Richie, is that a concert you stand during the entirety?
You have to, otherwise you'll fall asleep. If you don't stand the whole time, you know what I mean?
Are you getting mad at the person who asked you to sit down at the Lionel? No, you can't, because it's Lionel Richie. When he's singing this song, you can't be like, dude, I paid good money for these tickets. Shut up, dude.
She's married to Joel Madden of Good Charlotte, Nicole Richie.
Okay.
And he's the one that got into the plane wreck and survived it a few years ago.
What are you talking about? I don't remember no plane wreck.
Yeah, they were taking off or something like that.
I was on their Wikipedia page and I saw nothing about a plane wreck. I would think that would make Wikipedia.
It was Travis Barker who got into an accident. Everybody died on the plane except for him.
I remember, yeah. I
Adam
remember that
Goldstein,
accident.
who was DJ AM. He was in the band Crazy Town.
Yeah.
He was a mixologist.
Mm-hmm. I'm learning.
Whatever you want to call it. Mixmaster.
I'm glad you brought it up this morning because the Madden brother that is married to Nicole Richie.
Yeah, Benji.
He was dating Hillary Duff, so I had to look into the path of the internet in which this led to. Okay, was I had to look up Benji Madden and see, or you said that Joel Madden was married to Cameron Diaz, so I had to see who got married first, because which one of them landed the star first, and Benji beat Joel by a lot on this one. Okay, he married Nicole Richie in 2010. Cameron Diaz and Joel weren't married until 2015, I believe, is what that was. But then I learned another tidbit. This is far more of a juicier nugget. Okay. When you were 25, if you were dating a 16-year-old, what would have happened to you?
The dad probably would have shot me with a shotgun. No, I mean, yeah, that's not legal, right?
Back in 2004,
unless you're, I guess, in certain states.
The one that is married to Nicole Richie, Joel, was dating Hillary Duff. He was 25. She was 16.
That's only 9 years separation.
That's only 9 years separation, but that's 25 and 16. She had just gotten her license, okay?
He'd
been drinking for 4 years. There's a lot that happens in that 9 years.
Yeah, she was still finding herself in high school. What, maybe a junior in high school at that point, or maybe a sophomore? Yeah, that's crazy. Being 25 and dating a sophomore in high school.
And then if you're Nicole Richie, who probably seen all kinds of stuff in her bringing up, how do you go on to date the guy that was dating the 16-year-old at the age of 25? You're like, oh, yeah, he seems like a good catch. Because
in her mind, she's probably thinking, well, he's into women that look youthful, and I must look youthful.
Now, this is where it's going to go dark, okay? Because you are dating a statutory rapist at that point, if anything happened between him and her. I know you don't like it when I bring up real facts, but that is real facts, okay?
Let me ask you a question.
If they were, quote, unquote, dating,
Sidebar.
And he was 25, she was 16.
Yes, but that means that anybody who was 18 and was dating a 17-year-old was a statutory rapist.
There's a little bit of a difference there.
Well,
there's
there's
a lot of bit of difference. I remember when I was 24.
I dated my wife when she was 17. I was 18.
Yeah, but it's apples and oranges. It really is. Okay. When I was 24, I dated a 19-year-old, okay? And I remember having all kinds of ethical struggles with that.
What were your struggles? My
struggles were, I've been drinking for 3 years legally in the bar. She's going to ask me to buy her booze all the time.
So your struggle was buying her booze?
No, it was just that, like, you know, we were at
struggle was
different points in our life.
You were a man, she was a woman. You wanted to get with that, but she was really technically just over the age of 18.
Well, she was 19.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And so that was a struggle for you.
Yeah, I was like, whoa.
Were you worried you were going to get arrested? Because she was legal.
She was fine. But I remember consulting friends, man, like, dude, I'm 24. She's like, I met this girl. She's like 19. Would you do that? And people are like, yeah, I guess it's okay.
Were you sure she was 19? She could have been 17. She was lying.
I carded her. Because I don't want to end up like...
Maybe
like Joel Madden.
Maybe I thought it was Benji.
Or Benji, sorry.
Yeah, I thought Benji, maybe she lied to Benji. Maybe she was 16 and said she was 18.
She's Hillary Duff. She was Lizzie McGuire. You're not lying about that, okay?
Was she famous when she was 16?
Yes, then? She was like a Disney star.
I didn't know when she hit famous and stardom.
Back when she was going to the fake locker, she was actually smoking behind the portable with Benji Madden.
She wasn't smoking cigarettes either, Jeff.
How pathetic can some people be?
Lots of people get divorced. Tons, especially these days. So many people get divorced these days, now it's the people that stay married that really seem strange. 25 years, oh my God, what happened? Don't you know you can get out of it? Embarrassing though, my wife and I, we only lasted 3 years. We were supposed to be together until one of us died. I never even had a fever. She felt I was too down, I was too negative. Well, this divorce should help. She said I had changed. You ever hear that from your partner? You've changed. You didn't used to be like this. If I'd known you're going to be like this, Nick, I never would have gone to bed with you. Well, guess why I didn't tell you? Trying to move some product.
Dumbass of the Day. 93.3 KZOZ.
A woman in Taiwan ditched her husband after she was able to prove in court that he was ignoring her text messages. Apparently, you have to go to court in Taiwan in order to be granted a divorce, and you have to prove fault on the other party in order to get out of the marriage.
Oh, my gosh. All over text messages?
Yeah. Okay.
For God's sakes. For better, for worse, for text message or not.
There's an app that they use in several Asian countries. It's called Line. And this is the worst app ever invented. Okay. God, I hate this app. Like the people that created this app, the devil. Line lets you know when your text message has been read. It's like Facebook Messenger when it's
iPhones do this too.
Seen.
But with an iPhone to iPhone, you can find out when somebody's actually reading your text message or they've read it. Now, you can disable that in your settings, which I think most people do, except for people that aren't savvy with their phones. So I have friends sometimes that I'll text them and I'll say, "Oh, they read it, but they didn't respond." And it's been
exactly
like
why
half hour.
This is exactly why I don't get an iPhone.
Why can't you just respond? Like, it's just a yes or no. God, then I can move on with this. I can put this out of my mind. Because some of us, like me, I need that response before I make my next move. It's kind of holding me up. Now, I know when it comes to you that I'm just I'm surprised if you answer the phone.
That's why you've been browbeating me trying to get me to buy an iPhone, because you want to know what I'm reading your text messages.
I'm like, oh, son of a bitch, I knew that he was holding out on me. Come on! Then I'll text you again. I saw that you read it. That is a pain in the ass. I've disabled mine because I sometimes don't want to respond to people right away. I want to think about my answer.
The woman sent her husband several text messages over 6 months using this app that lets you know when it is opened and read. And it showed that he opened her messages and never bothered to reply. In one message, she told him that she was admitted to the hospital because of a car accident. 2 months later, he answers back with questions about their dog, but never inquired about her well-being.
2 months later, what did they do? They don't live together?
I guess not.
God. Well, then, yeah, it's probably a good thing they're getting a divorce.
Third world struggles, you know how it is, Jeremy.
Yeah. So she's granted the divorce because he won't respond to the text messages.
Family Affairs Court accepted her text evidence and granted her the divorce, saying that the couple's marriage is beyond repair and that a normal couple shouldn't treat each other like that. They tried to get the husband to show up to court, but he didn't respond to his text messages.
Sorry, this thing's really bad. There must be something wrong with my phone. Oh, that sounds familiar, doesn't it, Jeff? Oh, I don't know. There's something wrong with my phone. I don't get group messages.
I don't. Sometimes I don't. Yesterday, Matt sent you a text message.
He sent both of us one.
And apparently me a text message. He comes in, he goes, "Did you guys get that text message I sent you?" I'm like, "No, dude." And it pisses him off because I think he thinks I'm doing it to him on purpose.
Yes, because you have this ability of coming across kind of like a schmuck.
Well, I didn't get the text message. If I even held up my phone and said, "Look, this is the last text message from you." Okay, I did not get it. He's like,
you probably have a setting.
Sometimes my phone does that. Sometimes.
No, it's not his phone. I bet you might have a setting that doesn't allow group texting or something like that.
No, it doesn't. Believe me, I wish if I had that setting, I would disable it immediately because I hate group text messages.
Oh boy, just think. One day, this country that is becoming more liberal every day, there will be a law that says all text messages must be set permanently.
Yeah, you can't just be left alone anymore.
It'll tell people when you read them.
You just cannot.
Nobody
be left
can
alone.
have privacy. Everybody must be in everyone's life. Just like Bravo and
this
A&E and
this app is
WeTV,
the undoing of the world. Really, I mean, text messages are meant to be ignored. I mean, what do they do with instances of sons ignoring their mom's text messages?
Listen, text messages are great because you can do something. You can just do something quick. You don't have to have, small talk. Is that what they call it? Small talk, where people just talk about nothing, and you're like, I just need an answer. But when you don't want to answer somebody's text and they see that you've read it, then you know you're in, and you have to answer it, and that sucks.
It's the worst. It's the worst. Yesterday, Matt, I'm looking at my last responded to.
Is Matt your other wife? For
text
God's
message.
sakes, he sounds like he nags you hard.
He's coming in on Friday, so he's got something lined up for Friday, and because you're not going to be here, and it says he's telling me it's a long text message about what he's telling me. He wants me to give him a cookie or something for what he's got lined up for Friday, and I just respond with okay. And then he texted me back. He says, "I don't have time for your long text. I don't have time for your long text replies." And I don't respond to him at all.
God, you are hey, Jeremy's got to be gone on Friday. Can you come help us out? Oh, sure. Oh, yeah, I've got this great idea. I'm going to set all this up.
Okay. All right.
That's good.
I wish there was a way you could interrupt somebody when they're typing a text message. Say, "Cool, dude. Cool story, bro. Congratulations to dude that responded to his wife about the dog 2 months after she sent you a text message saying she was admitted to the
No,
hospital.
you're all idiots.
because of a car accident.
No, he's an idiot because you got that stupid text app that tells him every time that you read a text.
Yeah, just
Your
text
fault.
message the old school way, y'all. You're Jeff and Jeremy's.
Dumbass of the day. It's Jeff and Jeremy in the morning. 93.3 KZOZ rocks.
Talking about really fun and cool bands from the 90s, and the Meat Puppets came up, and people were looking at me like, Meat Puppets? I'm like, yeah, man, come on. You don't remember the Meat Puppets? Backwater? And it's like, and then you play the song, and people are like, oh, yeah, I remember that was a one-hit wonder for those guys. So, anyways, we were talking about it because Matchbox 20 and Counting Crows, really Counting Crows, playing Saturday night at the Mid-State Fair.
What do you mean, really Counting Crows? What, Matchbox 20 is not?
No, we were really talking about Matchbox 20. Yeah, they were 90s too.
Oh,
but,
hell yeah. They were heyday 90s.
But, I mean
like mid-90s.
we were listening
right down the middle.
to the Counting Crows when we were talking about that. We were talking about Fastball All the Way, talking about Gin Blossoms, all those bands. Third Eye Blind. How rock was a little different in the 90s. It went from that grunge to a real kind of like upbeat and positive, not always a positive message.
What would
but
be
the
your
music
dream concert lineup? 3 bands from the 90s.
Let's go Gin Blossoms for sure. And
Dude, nice pick.
well, I like the Gin Blossoms. Well, I want to go to the show with you, of course. So
I was actually thinking about this yesterday. It's funny that you bring it up because I was actually thinking about this because I was delving deep into some Toad the Wet Sprocket.
oh, I love Toad the Wet Sprocket. Oh, that'd be good. I only get to pick 3 bands, huh?
Yeah.
Counting Crows would be on there. I've never seen them, and I've always wanted to see them.
You've never seen Counting Crows?
Never seen
I've
Counting
seen Counting Crows like 5
and
times.
I listen to those guys. I'm in college, 90s, holy cow, all the time. And then, that third position could be anybody. But maybe Hootie and the Blowfish.
But you need like a solid headliner, don't you? If you're going to go 3 bands.
Who's the solid headliner?
Well, Matchbox 20 is a solid headliner.
Yeah.
I think they are.
The first album, all that other stuff was okay.
The second album was okay.
Yeah.
It was.
The second album's okay.
Does Rob Thomas do Smooth?
He's got
in concert because that was his.
Don't forget about it.
That was his thing, but arguably the biggest hit that any of them have touched. Let's see, setlist.fm here. Just to see if indeed
I've got to imagine he does it. I mean, it's a big song, right?
But it's a huge song, but it wasn't a Matchbox 20 song. It was a Rob Thomas song
with Carlos Santana.
Yeah. So I mean, it's does he do that? Does the band do that? That's your thing, bro. It's not our thing. Is that a lot of that go on?
But
in
it was
the band?
such a big song that I think, it's got to work its way in.
How do you leave it off? Let's see here.
Even if you just kind of blend it into another song, and then you come out of it, you just play.
They're touring together. The Counting Crows and Matchbox 20 right now, and
kind of figure that since they'll be here on Saturday.
Do you want to know whether or not Smooth? Gosh, dude, this is going to be a good concert because both bands are playing a lot of songs.
Well, good.
I mean, it's going to be deep into the evening.
I'm going to say they're going to play it. Is that a yes or a no? They're going to play Smooth?
Do you want me to tell you?
Yes, I'm asking you.
No. They don't play it. At least they didn't at Rogers Place up in Vancouver.
Okay. Well, that's okay. It's not going to hurt my feelings.
And that was just the other night.
The rest of it will be pretty good, too. I don't know. Is that a stand-up show or a sit-down show?
That's a stand-up show for most of the time.
Oh, is it really? I'm thinking you're going to be sitting down.
I think for most of the time, it's a stand-up. Oh, come on. It's not. Most of the time. I mean, the thing is, both bands have songs that they really tone it down a notch. You know what's funny is, like, one of my dream 90s, if I were to add two bands, both bands are probably playing Saturday night at the California Mid-State Fair for my dream 90s concert. I would say Counting Crows, Matchbox 20,
and Gin Blossoms.
And I'm not sure, either Toad the Wet Sprocket or Gin Blossoms.
What about Spin Doctors?
No, I don't like. I've never been a big overrated.
Yeah.
I think it would have to be Toad the Wet Sprocket over Gin Blossoms.
What is this? Is this something that I've not heard this?
If I was to add a quintessential 90s band to Matchbox 20 and Counting Crows at the California Mid-State Fair to make it my dream lineup,
this would be really awesome. You know, they live in Santa Barbara.
I know.
Or they're based out of Santa Barbara. I don't know if they all live there, but
actually touring through the area in the next couple of weeks. Not coming here, though, unfortunately. Monterey and Ojai. That's what we get out of Toad the Wet Sprocket over the next couple of weeks. And Los Angeles and San Francisco, of course.
I'm trying to remember. There was somebody else that came out about the same time.
If you can't remember them, they don't deserve to be on your lineup, bro. That's the way it works, okay?
And somebody who came out about the same time that these guys did. And
Semisonic.
No.
Similar sound? Wallflowers?
No. Oh, I think I got it. I think it was these guys right here. I'm going to bring this down for a second.
Yeah, that's fine.
Well, by the way, what song is this? I don't know this.
Come Down.
So, is this a news? Was this off a later album, or was this off the original?
The original? What do you mean the original?
Well, they're
many albums.
Okay, never mind.
They have a highly decorated.
Yes, John Cicada. Remember John Cicada?
No, God, no. What the hell is that?
What do you mean? You don't remember John Cicada?
No.
Okay, never mind.
Sorry.
Never mind.
That's not.
I used to listen to a lot of John Cicada back in the late 90s.
That's not quintessential 90s, okay, dickwad? John Cicada.
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning.
Boy, this is too hard to pick three bands. I've like trying to go back and forth. I've dropped the Gin Blossoms. I picked up Alice in Chains. I picked up Pearl Jam.
Yeah,
but I still have Hootie and the Blowfish on there because they're literally one of my favorite bands from the 90s.
See, that's the weird thing about this.
And it doesn't make any sense.
There's so much going on in the 90s as far as like bands that were just blips. That, you know, I guess maybe we need to retailor the challenge instead of go with three bands that would make up the quintessential 90s lineup. Because, I mean, obviously you're going to go Nirvana, Pearl Jam, Soundgarden, or Alice in Chains.
I don't need to see Nirvana. Is that weird? I've never seen Foo Fighters. But, you know, I want to see Foo Fighters. But I don't want them just to play their 90s stuff. I want Foo Fighters over the last, 2 decades.
Yeah, because they actually got better at the turn of the century.
Can I say something real quick?
Back there at the turn of the century. That's when real Foo Fighters can't get.
I love everybody that contributes online, and they write in on Facebook at Jeff and Jeremy. But what drives me nuts is when you don't read. It's like when you ask somebody a question, and they don't answer the question because they didn't listen. It's almost like they're not listening. We're asking you what's your dream concert lineup from the 90s, and people write stuff like Heart, Pat Benatar, and Aerosmith. Like, those aren't 90s groups. All right, we're talking, they have to be a 90s group. Somebody else wrote in, Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, and Rush. Not 90s groups. We're talking about groups that formed in the 90s or that were big in the 90s. Like, here we go. This is oh my God. Holly writes in, Foo Fighters, I love this. Garth Brooks, and Red Hot Chili Peppers.
That's pretty 90s.
I didn't listen to country. My grandparents did.
That's pretty 90s.
And I couldn't stand country until I heard Garth Brooks. I remember it was probably Friends in Low Places. But then I got the album, and then and then it changed me, and I started listening to country. So that totally makes sense. Red Hot Chili Peppers. That's who I forgot. I've already seen them 5 times.
But they were a very influential presence in the 90s.
Metallica. Never seen Metallica. Love what Cassandra wrote. Metallica. Sammy, here we go. Soundgarden, Alice in Chains, STP. I mean, those.
But
are
I would argue
staples.
that Metallica didn't thrive in the 90s. Okay, this is my argument with this. Okay, and read the question as it sits. The band had to experience its best years in the 90s in order to be up for consideration. The way I read the question, you know. So when you say Metallica, great band, yeah, iconic, probably one of the biggest bands of all time, really, when you strip it down across genres. But still, did they experience their best years in the 90s?
It's almost like the Foo Fighters, right?
They did not thrive in the 90s. Yeah, Foo Fighters came along in the 90s, but thrived in the 2000s.
Yeah,
and continue to thrive today.
We're asking you quintessential bands of the 90s. If you had to pick 3 for a show, who would they be?
You pissed off. We pissed off. I shouldn't say you pissed off. We pissed off the Metallica contingency by saying, I guess not more me pissed off the Metallica contingency by saying that they did not thrive in the 90s because John writes in. He says, he says, listen, bro.
That's probably not accurate.
Metallica came out with the Black Album in 91 and that was most of their commercial. That was their most commercial album, and they were on top of the 90s for a while.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. There's no way you can deny that metal and hair rock was essentially crushed by grunge in the 90s from the grand scheme of things. Like the way you view everything, like grunge not only changed rock music, it spawned an entire genre known as alternative, or it brought alternative to the mainstream. And if you weren't a stereotypical grunge band, you weren't getting any airplay at all. Like,
unless you were Metallica.
Ask Skid Row. Yeah. Ask Guns N' Roses.
But Metallica survived all that.
Metallica did. Metallica was able to keep their head above water. But to say that they thrived in the 90s is factually incorrect.
But, I mean, you got to think about the songs that came off that album that are their biggest hits. I mean, across the board. Enter Sandman, The Unforgiven, Wherever I May Roam, Sad But True.
I got you. And it came out.
I mean, there's others.
Right on the cusp of grunge hitting big, and then everybody forgot about it.
Hi, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just calling because I heard all you talking about the 3 bands and everything, and I just had a quick question. Any one of you guys think Smash Mouth would have made the top of one of your band lists?
Yeah, I think so. They're quintessential 90s. They had a ton of hits, too, you know?
Really?
Yeah.
I grew up in Reno, man. They used to come up there all the time, and I've seen them 2 or 3 times. And you wouldn't think so, but they play a pretty good show.
Is that, hey, now you're an all-star?
Yeah.
Get your game on? No.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm not on. I don't agree, but that's okay.
But
you two can go to the show
They
together.
thrived in the 90s, though. I mean, they're super 90s. Like, if you were to add them.
Remember they were in, like, Colorado or Denver area?
Yeah, they were getting bread thrown
everyone
at
was
them.
throwing bread at him because the guy was pissed off that he's a washed-up star and he has to play carnivals or farmers markets or whatever the hell he was playing.
But
I lost a little respect for him that
If you
day.
were to add them to the Matchbox 20 Counting Crows, that's pretty 90s right there. If it's Smash Mouth, like they had that concert, I think it got canceled, but it was like I love the 90s or something like that, and it was a bunch of R&B. I don't consider that to be the 90s. It was like some R&B acts that like had like a couple hits here and there.
I listened to a lot of that.
I know you did.
I listened to everything, though. I listened to Metallica. I had the Black Album, but I also had the R. Kelly album that we had yesterday.
If you truly love the 90s, you're not loving R&B. If you truly love the 90s, you're going to Matchbox 20 and Counting Crows. And
but Belle Biv DeVoe came out in the 90s. Bobby Brown was in the 90s. I mean, there was a lot of good music that wasn't rock that came out in the 90s.
It's just, to me, the 90s were 2 things. They were grunge and they were alternative light.
Keep it local. Jeff and Jeremy in the morning. 93.3 KZOZ rocks.
The top 3 iconic baseball stadiums.
Fenway, Wrigley, Yankee.
All right. Who would be a 4th?
Dodger.
Where would you put Dodger Stadium? Okay, number 4. They're
And
talking.
actually, Dodgers was my first choice for number 3, but then I figured Yankee Stadium. I got to give the nod to
Yankee Stadium. What? Wrigley Field?
Wrigley and Fenway.
Yeah.
Wrigley, Fenway, Yankee, Dodgers. That's how I rank them.
The Dodger Stadium is the third oldest baseball stadium in the country. So, being after
I think Dodger
Wrigley
Stadium
and
sucks.
Fenway.
I think Dodger Stadium sucks, but as far as iconic goes, it fits the bill.
They're going to sell the naming rights to it. They haven't done that. So you will be going to, I don't know, you name it.
I hate that.
Safeco Field. No, that's Seattle. Could Safeco sponsor 2 baseball parks? The funny thing is,
American Airlines sponsors numerous basketball arenas because I remember it was very confusing because they had sponsored. It was the finals when the Mavericks and the Heat played, and they both played in American Airlines Arena because they sponsored the arena in Miami and the arena in Dallas. Well, they were getting all the bang for their buck.
Wow.
I mean, they monopolized the arena game.
Actually, if you think about it, that's not a good thing because if you're paying for 2 different sponsorships and you would be on 2 different networks or
it's
at
a
least
great
at 2
thing,
different
because
times,
you are
but
the
now you're
only
paying
one-
twice for only getting mentions once.
But you're the only one represented during the finals.
Yeah,
you don't have
true.
to worry about the.
It is the finals
United
that
Airlines
changes things a little bit, yeah.
arena.
So, anyways, can you imagine calling Dodger Stadium anything else? Now, of course, a lot of fans are saying, well, we're still going to call it Dodger Stadium. But I'll tell you, like being a Seattle fan, when Safeco came in and bought
But
the
that
rights
was different.
to that ballpark, that's what it's called.
That
And
was different because-
CenturyLink, or the Clink, as they call it, is next door for where the Seahawks play. I mean, that's what people call
and
it.
it was Quest Field.
It was Quest Field. And, yeah.
Both those instances are different. Okay, and I'll tell you why. If they both played in the Kingdome like they used to play in the Kingdome, people would still refer to it as the Kingdome. But what they did is they tore down the Kingdome, built 2 new stadiums, and those sponsorships, well, at least for the Mariners, that sponsorship has been in place ever since they opened the new stadium. It has been Safeco Field. That's why they've been able to roll with that for as long as they have. And now it's like, they've known it as Safeco Field from its beginning. If it were to come along and change to something else, that's what people would have a tough time with. Dodger Stadium has always been Dodger Stadium. That's why with Fenway and Wrigley, which Wrigley, I guess, is chewing gum dating way back to the era, but still, it's still Wrigley. With Fenway and Wrigley and Yankee Stadium, whatever and even Dodger Stadium, whatever you sell the naming rights to, people are just going to always refer to it as Dodger Stadium. Like, I think it's a bad choice or investment or a bad way to spend your marketing dollars to sponsor Dodger Stadium.
Well, your name's going to be out there. I mean, everybody's going to see it. That's at the
Are people
ballpark.
going to recognize it?
The
though?
radio broadcast, the television broadcast will always refer to it as, blank, blank Dodger Stadium or blank Dodger Stadium. But $12 million is what they want.
By
for it.
listening to the Dodgers games this year, I would think AM/PM would be in the running for that because they sponsor the hell out of the Dodgers, which is a good year to sponsor the Dodgers because they're the best team in the league.
If you were the Dodgers organization and you own the stadium,
AM/PM
whose
Field?
name would you not want on the side of it? AM/PM.
Isn't there like one that's like First Mortgage Field or something like? What's the White Sox? The White Sox.
Well,
play
that's okay. That's not so bad. But I mean, when you're thinking about AM/PM, I mean, AM/PM's fine. It's a convenience store, but I don't know if I want it slapped on the side of my baseball stadium. It's AM/PM Park at Dodger Stadium.
Guaranteed Rate Field is where the White Sox in Old Comiskey Park. And I know that a lot of people in Chicago still refer to it as Comiskey.
This has been on the market, by the way, since April, and there's been no takers. $12 million a year is what they want for naming rights to this stadium.
We're talking about this baseball stadium thing, and I brought up, I said Safeco Field will always be known as Safeco Field because it was the OG. The naming rights run out for Safeco Field this year after this season. So next year, there's going to be a new sponsor at what has been known as Safeco Field for 17 years. It was built as Safeco Field. All the signage around there is Safeco Field. Everything's Safeco this, Safeco that. I was just up there last week, and and that's what it is. But now somebody else is going to come in and sponsor that. And their Forbes listed 5 companies that could potentially name the field. Boeing being number 1. Microsoft being number 2.
Which would be very confusing because Boeing Field is just down the street from... They wouldn't be able to call it Boeing Field. They'd have to call it Boeing Park or something. At I don't know. Do they have a name for that place outside of Safeco Field? They don't, right? There is no name to it. It's not Mariners Stadium or Mariners
nothing.
Park. Or
it's
anything.
always been Safeco Field.
Yeah,
they sold the naming rights from the jump, and they entered into a contract that extended to 17 years. And then Safeco, the insurance company, is saying, okay, we're done with it. We don't want any part of this sponsorship agreement anymore. So now the Mariners are scrambling, trying to figure out, not that if they're going to have a tough time finding anybody, because they have Boeing, they have Microsoft, they have Amazon. I didn't know this, but Holland American, the cruise line, is based in Seattle. The reason being is because they do a lot of the cruises up to Alaska from Seattle. And Forbes is also listing one of your faves, Alaska Airlines, as being one of the potential
It's grown
sponsors.
so fast. I mean, they used to be a regional airline, and then obviously they were a West Coast airline, and then they kind of flew to the Southwest, and then they were flying to the East Coast, and then next thing you know, they're buying another airline, Virgin America, and now they're flying places like here.
They've long been a key sponsor for the Mariners, so they are considered to be likely to name the stadium. So
I hope they do. That'd be great.
It'd be Alaska Airlines Field. But see, the cool thing about Safeco Field was locals, they refer to it. They adopted a nickname quickly.
Right. The
like
safe, right?
within the first year, they say, hey, you want to go down the safe and catch a game?
Yeah.
The safe, what's the safe? Safeco Field. Oh, okay. Will Alaska Airlines, if they're the ones that come in and buy that sponsorship, would they be able to be adopted by fans? And that's the problem that the Dodgers are running into. And from everything that I can glean in the last 10 minutes about the naming rights, is Dodger Stadium is still going to be known as Dodger Stadium. When you buy those naming rights, you're not buying the naming rights to the Dodger Stadium. You're buying the naming rights to the field. Okay? So it's a big difference, because when you buy the naming rights to the field, it would be, since we brought it up earlier, AM/PM, it would be AM/PM Field at Dodger Stadium. So people will always still refer to it as Dodger Stadium. You're only naming the grass, the mound, the diamond, the outfield, and the foul territory,
right,
and the bullpens. Okay, that's what you get with the field sponsorship. That's why nobody's jumping at it at $12 million a year, because they're like, it's still going to be known as Dodger Stadium to the fan base. It's not going to be known as the safe like it is in Seattle, where it is name recognition to our brand. It is going to be Dodger Stadium. By the way, the name of the field is AM/PM Field or whatever.
FarmersOnly.com.
Farmer John. You know why I said Farmer John, don't you?
No, I don't know why.
Dodger Dogs. That's who makes the Dodger Dogs.
Oh, okay.
That's who
you know
makes
why I
the
said
Dodger.
FarmersOnly.com?
Because you spent a lot of time watching late night TV.
Well, no, it's just on all the time. Like, and I don't care where you're at, and the commercials are usually pretty funny.
That would be an embarrassing sponsorship, wouldn't it?
Really would be. FarmersOnly.com field at Dodger Stadium.
Like you're talking like the most metropolitan market in all of the markets in the United States.
I could hear everybody in the crowd when they play the song. Everybody would sing along.
And they're sponsored by Farmers Only. Like the Milwaukee Brewers should be sponsored by FarmersOnly.com. What would be a good potential sponsor for the field for Dodger? As Dodgers fans, I guess asking Dodgers fans this morning, 543-3693, what would be a good, I guess, tie-in brand that would make you proud to say, okay, they sponsor it? Like you would be proud if Alaska Airlines sponsored your hometown team of the Mariners, right?
Yeah, I like Alaska.
You like Alaska Airlines. Any one of those.
Very
I
happy
mentioned,
since they started
outside of
playing here.
probably a Holland American cruise line. Microsoft, Amazon, Boeing, you would be cool with any
All
of those, right?
Yeah, for sure.
What would be a good one for Los Angeles and then naming rights to Dodgers Field? I can't wrap my head around this one. First one that comes to mind is Disney, but then you can't because they're in Anaheim. They use for employee parking Angel Stadium,
right.
Okay?
So they want to sell the naming rights to Dodger Stadium at Ravine Park. And,
Ravine Park.
or what is it called?
Have you moved the Dodgers to Paso Robles, the Waterside Park?
The Ravine Park. No, Chavez Ravine. See, I knew there was a ravine in there somewhere. Chavez Ravine. Ravine Water Park in Chavez Ravine. I love that John writes Telemundo, and I was actually kind of thinking of that because when I drive to LAX, I know when I see Telemundo, it's the next exit. Mm-hmm. And I forget the name of that exit because it's some Spanish name. But I remember Telemundo every time. After Telemundo, next exit is the one you want to take to get to LAX.
Would Del Taco be an embarrassing sponsorship?
I don't know. It seems to be a big thing down there. I bring up, like, where's the best taco?
I know.
Even around here. Oh, Del Taco. I'm like, no, Taco Bell. Like, oh, Taco Bell's garbage, man. It's all about Del Taco. I've had Del Taco. I'm not impressed. Not impressed at all, by the way. There's a gas station food. Gas station food.
AM/PM.
543-3693.
In-N-Out Field. Would that be a good one?
I don't think In-N-Out has the money.
Southern Californians have they sponsor the Dodgers broadcasts.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, they do.
Oh, well, maybe
they have mega pride in In-N-Out.
That's true. Everybody loves In-N-Out.
In-N-Out is growing.
How many times do you talk to somebody that comes from somewhere else?
Yeah.
And when they come here, they're like, oh, dude, can we go to an In-N-Out? I'm like, really? Okay, it's good. I mean, it's just
they got a steak.
They
got a Steak and Shake in Seattle, and some of my friends were jazzed about the Steak and Shake, and they're like, yeah, now if we could just get an In-N-Out. And I'm thinking, really? That's what you want?
Here comes a Giants fan, Tampax Stadium.
Yay!
Yeah, how about that one, huh? I'm sure there's a.
And it's funny because
there's another line that follows that.
Because the question is, what company would be the best quote unquote fit for sponsoring the fields?
Hi, buddy. What do you got?
Well, you know what? Got to do it like you used to do it with Sesame Street. And it's sponsored by either a letter or a color. And I think Dodger Stadium would be the Pantone 294.
Okay, and is that the code for a color, 294? Is that Pantone's color?
That is the Dodger blue.
Oh, okay.
If you looked at, there's a whole movement called Pantone 294. You watch a Dodger game, you start looking for that, and it'll be everywhere.
But does Pantone 294, the color, have $12 million a year to pony up to sponsor the field? As a Dodgers fan, what logical company would make sense as sponsoring Dodgers Field? Just the field, not the stadium, just the field.
It'd be Lakers.
Sponsored by the
Lakers sponsoring. Yeah.
That's not a bad idea. You know, Magic Johnson, he's got his hand in both.
Yeah, that's true.
Both pots.
Exactly.
Los Angeles.
Exactly.
Lakers Park.
You said earlier, Jeremy, that they have been looking for a sponsor since February, and they have no takers.
April.
April.
Spring.
They have no takers on the sponsorship. So possibly Magic Johnson, create your own sponsorship. Brought to you from Los Angeles Lakers Field here at Dodger Stadium. It's the
God, isn't that confusing? Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, but that's a perfect segue.
It is.
Right, thanks for the call.
It is a good fit because
he came
fans
up with
of ones are fans of the other.
The color blue, which obviously doesn't work because they don't have $12 million to the Lakers. I know we can come up with something better. The problem is when I think about Los Angeles, I can't think like Hollywood, Universal Studios Park, maybe. Something along that line, something that has to do with the movies or broadcasting or of some sort. You can let us know, 543-3693.
It all reeks of, remember the movie? The guys from South Park did basketball?
Oh, yes.
When everything was sponsored?
Yeah.
Everything was sponsored?
Yeah.
Like, it would get to that level of ridiculously if it was Los Angeles Lakers Field at Dodger Stadium.
Seriously, though. Ow. Jeff and Jeremy in the morning. 93.3 KZOZ rocks.
Kid Rock this Sunday, California Mid-State Fair. Front row tickets. This is an entire day at the fair free. We're going to cover your admission in. We've got a couple of ride wristbands and all the food you're going to need and drink at Jimmy's Watering Hole, plus the 2 front row tickets to see Kid Rock. And all you have to do is submit a video of yourself listening to KZOZ. You do that by posting it on your Facebook page and then tagging KZOZ and using the hashtag. This is really the most important part. KZOZ all summer long. And then we come to find out people are doing this, and they're like, well, there's messaging us, like, why you haven't commented, you haven't. I'm like, well,
we can't see it. If we can't see it, we don't know it exists.
They had it on private. See, there's a setting when you post something towards your name at the top where you can set it to public and everybody could see it. It has to be that. Otherwise, if we can't see it, you can't be entered into the contest. So just make sure that's the case.
So does that mean, because like on my Facebook, it is everything is public. Like whenever I do anything, it's public. I don't have to change settings or anything like that.
You can set your Facebook that way, but if you have your Facebook set to private, then that's obviously different.
I don't understand the setting of the Facebook. Okay, like Facebook, if you are telling the world about it, don't you want to tell the world about it? Like, what's the whole deal with the private?
I think they came across some people didn't want to do that. They just wanted their friends to see it. So I don't want anybody to see anything on my page unless I accept their friendship. So then you can set it that way.
Why?
I don't know.
Because
I don't know why people would want to do that. They don't want stalkers, I guess. Or they don't want their neighbor to be nosy, or somebody at work to be nosy at what they're doing. And then,
but if you ain't got nothing to hide, and if you're just an open book, then public is the way to go.
Right.
Like, so if you're I'm automatically making snap judgments of you if you are posting your video and we're not seeing it. I'm like, oh, you got your default settings to private. What are you trying to hide?
Right.
You know?
What is it about your life that is so shameful?
So these people that have been calling in, I'm trying to think, are you like having an affair and trying to win tickets?
Oh, maybe you're maybe you're seeing a girl and you don't want her to know that you're married.
See, that's the problem with the private setting.
All right,
the private setting is all you're doing is leading people to judge you based on what they think you might be into, you know?
This is Ethan rocking out to KZOC.
Good job, Ethan.
I went to hell, right? Look at him. It looks like he's driving a truck. Do a little sing-along. Oh, there he goes. All right, so he just sent his in a little bit ago, and this is not what we want. Here is this is.
Listen to that. That's some good quality right there. This is why you don't take concert video footage, folks.
You can't hear you, Buzz. You got the phone too close to the speaker.
Jeremy, what's your advice on taking concert video footage since you do it so often? Cup the mic?
Yeah, you cup the mic. Or you don't cup the mic. You put your finger over the microphone. That'll actually help block out some of those damaging dBs or whatever. This one's great. This is Maria. She's cleaning the bathroom.
KZOZ all day long while I'm cleaning the RVs for getaway RV rentals.
Oh, look, she got her plug in there, too.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So she works at an RV place and she's in the RV cleaning.
They do the rental.
There she goes. She showed the...
That's an RV. It looks like a house.
I know. It's a big RV. If you buy this RV and the speakers are blown out, it's because Maria was cranking KZOZ. She's vacuuming. Oh, she's like, oh, okay, we can't do it.
Faithful as a... Ow.
She just stubbed her toe.
If you want to see these videos, the hashtag to follow is KZOZ all summer long over on
we got Brett on the line. What's up, man?
Did you guys see my video?
I have not watched it yet, but I saw that it was up there. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I know my way around a computer and all. I'm trying to tag KZOZ, and I do, and it comes up. I type 93.3, and the Facebook little thing, the little link comes up. I enter it.
Okay.
And then when I hit done editing, it just disappears.
Oh, is that right?
I do over and over and over again. Suzanne commented on my video. It says, try typing 93.3 KZOZ, and I do, and it shows up, but then it disappears as soon as I click done editing.
Well, that's just janky-ass Facebook. That's all it can be.
How could you refer to Facebook as janky? It's like a Fortune 500 company.
Yeah, I know, but it's janky. If it's not working, it's jank. That's what I call it.
But we see it. We can see it. In fact, 69 people have seen your video. So that's
okay.
That's good.
So it's eligible for the contest.
Yeah, it's automatically in the running.
Oh yeah.
Okay, sweet.
And good production value on it. Right? I got to tell you. You know, like graphic inlays are always good.
Oh, really? Here we go.
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning. Hey, it's Brett from Atascadero. I'm up here in Paso Robles at my cool concert watching spot when I don't have tickets for a concert and I still want to hear the concert and I want to deal with the crowds and stuff. This is where I watch the concerts from. It's a little cul-de-sac where there's a house and it didn't get developed. And you look right down there. That's the main grandstand right down there.
Oh, wow.
I was up here when that.
Do you really
guy
do that,
threw
Brett?
guy out of the concert.
Yeah.
It was awesome. Anyway.
What's the last concert you watched from up there?
Oh gosh, I don't remember, but I video. I'll send you guys a link to the. I made a little video of the Tim McGraw concert we were watching it from up there.
Okay, all right, that'd be cool.
I'll send you a link to that.
Yeah. I would keep that location secret. You don't want too many people showing
Well, that's
up.
the thing. I kind of kept it pointing out there, so it's kind of hard to find, even where you know where it's at. Every year, it's still a little bit hard to find.
All right, cool. Well, you're in there, man. I love the video. Good job.
Thanks, guys.
Brett from Atascadero.
What do you think?
It's a good video.
What are the odds that a house gets put up on that piece of property very soon?
I want to know where this lot is. I want to buy that land. I mean, that's awesome. I didn't even know there was
with all that
land that you could get.
All that capital you have as a rentor?
Yeah, but
in
it's
San
still
Luis Obispo County.
It's still Paso Robles, and I have a better shot than anywhere.
Yeah,
below
you can maybe get that zero down FHA loan action going there. Especially that lot right there.
It's an awesome looking lot. I mean, God, it overlooks downtown Paso Robles and the fair.
Make the neighbors real happy when you move your fifth wheel onto it. You know how
it's called a tiny house now, Jeff.
Yeah, how come tiny houses are so damn cool, but fifth wheels are considered
It's a fifth
trashy?
wheel with siding, okay?
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning. Listen online at kzoz.com.
You say millennials are lazy. New study done by...
Well, I mean, I can't mean everybody. Just maybe the millennials I know.
Well, you're only speaking to 4% of the millennial population when you say that they're lazy and entitled, because they are a generation of go-getters, according to Bankrate.com. They did a study, and they asked 18 to 26-year-olds how often they work. And what percentage do you think said that they work at least, that they have a quote-unquote side hustle?
Oh, like a second job?
At least once a month.
Less than 50%. I would say probably 20%.
You would be very mistaken. Big buzzer for you. 96% of millennials
that were in this study,
in this survey, these are
survey
18 to 26-year-olds.
I think they lied.
They were asked if they work, they consider to have a side hustle.
Well, that's great news. I mean, that means that they understand work ethic.
Are working more than 40 hours a week.
I just don't see that.
28% say that they have a way of making side income. 61% of the ones that do the side hustle say that they do it at least once a week. So that's at least 4 times a month that they're working, going above and beyond. And a quarter of them say that those side hustles make them more than $500 a month to supplement their income. How many side hustles do you have?
I just have one other one besides this.
Is this a culture in which we have
but
to
it
have...
keeps me busy. I could pick up another one. You know, the more you talk about Uber, the more I'm thinking about doing it.
Is it almost mandatory now to have a side hustle?
No, I just think
in this day
I
and
think
age,
it's almost become a popular thing.
Look at where we live.
You know?
Look at where we live. It's not a cheap place to live. How many people do you know have side hustles? Matt comes in with us on a regular basis. He's nothing. His jobs are nothing but side hustles.
But that is his job.
I know.
That's not a side hustle.
But
his job is to play at bars and bar mitzvahs and birthdays.
And he's figuring out ways to gain attention to supplement his main, so that becomes a side hustle then. You have to. It's a self-promoting society that we live in. So even if you're self-promoting yourself, you are doing a side hustle, even though it's not cashing a check. It's not. Okay, it's not giving you a check.
We could argue about everything that we talk about. That doesn't make any sense. All right, a side hustle means it's something separate from your main job. What is his main job?
Singing at weddings.
No, he's a musician. He's a musician. So he doesn't have a side hustle when he does, something at a bar.
When he comes in here for free to tell people that he's going to be playing at the Avila Beach Farmers Market, that's a side hustle.
Oh, when he's in here marketing himself.
That is a side hustle.
I see.
That is a side hustle because you have to go above and beyond, right? Whether it be to supplement your own income to get people to take notice of it. If you're owning your own business, like before, when you opened a restaurant, you didn't have to worry about your Yelp presence. You didn't have to worry about your Facebook presence. Now, if you got a bad Yelp presence and you're a restaurant, you sell the restaurant. You have no other option but to sell the restaurant to somebody else who's going to try to take it over and put up a big banner outside that says under new ownership. You've got to be on your game, is what I'm saying, whether it be side hustles, whether it be marketing. It is, you can't just worry about the person coming in off the street, or that 9-to-5 job that you have taking care of all your needs. So we're asking you the question this morning, how many side hustles do you have? What is your side hustle? You said you have one.
Yeah, I do that wine show.
Yeah.
There's this,
And that gets you bottles of wine?
Well, and I get paid to do it.
Oh, okay.
It's a job.
Okay.
And it takes up a lot of weekends.
That's true.
And now it's going to take up every afternoon for the next, week and a half.
11 days.
At the fair.
Yay. But you're rolling in that money, though, right?
But yeah, I do. I make a lot of extra money during the fair doing it, so it's kind of nice.
Do you make more money than the guy that operates the zipper at the?
Probably
that guy
not.
rolls in cash.
Yeah,
okay?
probably not. Probably
he's
not.
He's making cold.
Yeah, he's catching a lot of change
or hot hard cash.
Yeah, I don't think I could touch that.
And it comes at him hard and fast.
Keep it local. Jeff and Jeremy in the morning. 93.3 KZOZ rocks.
Things we didn't get to in hashtag form with Jeff and Jeremy in the morning.
Okay, do you remember when everybody got super mad at LeVar Ball for coming out with the $500 shoes?
Lonzo Ball.
No, but his dad, LeVar.
Oh, his dad's LeVar. I'm sorry.
His dad.
I thought you were screwing up his name because I screwed it up. I kept wanting to call him Alonzo.
They're the ones that came up. His son is just like, yeah, sure, Dad, go ahead, do whatever you want. By the way, did you see LeVar wrestling?
No, I didn't. I've never seen his dad.
He was on like one of the wrestling shows while we were on vacation, like SmackDown or whatever.
I didn't even know those shows were still on TV.
Yeah. And he came out there with Lonzo. They were down in L.A. And he took off his shirt and started wrestling everybody. And I'm like, dude, if you're Lonzo, you're like, Dad, okay, stop with the embarrassment.
Dude, God, you're already destroying my life. Come up with these $500 shoes. Everybody's talking trash about me now.
The thing is,
all this pressure's on me.
The thing is, Lonzo's handling it cool. He's just like, yeah, man, that's just my dad.
Living vicariously through his son.
That's just my dad. Let him do his thing, whatever. But remember how people got really mad that the shoes were $500 a pair? I mean, the outrage was insane. Christopher Kane, he is a fashion designer. He has created a fancy version of Crocs. Now, you know what Crocs are? Those plastic shower shoes that some people like to wear in the garden. They're like usually...
The nursing industry's big in them.
55 to 60 years old, and they go out in their garden and they like to mess around with their tomatoes in their garden with it, The fancy version of the Crocs is selling for $216.
Mm-hmm. And this is what, LeVar's side hustle?
No, this is Christopher Kane. I just brought up LeVar because people were really upset. Now, he also unveiled, remember, some flip-flops that were $199.
Like, who would pay that?
But this guy is selling essentially
$20,
flip-flops for $216. Where's the outrage at Christopher Kane for coming up with the Crocs that are $216?
It's laughable. And you can get Crocs for under $100. I mean, it's just
you should be able to. They're plastic shower shoes, literally to whatever it costs to manufacture a Croc, let alone two, because you need two, I guess, if you're into wearing shoes the way they're supposed to be worn. If you have two Crocs, it's got to cost what, maybe 50 cents to make those. They pour them into a little mold, pull them out, they're done. Let them cool off. And this guy sold them for $216 because he put some rocks on top of them. He glued rocks on top of them.
That's ridiculous. Hashtag bigger than the Super Bowl. Looks like this Mayweather-McGregor fight now they're saying is going to surpass the Super Bowl as far as betting on how much money you can win. Now, it's changed. I've been really thinking about throwing $100 on McGregor, even though I know that Mayweather is the favorite. It's a boxing match. But,
So, did you hear what happened while you were on vacation? Conor McGregor was in a sparring match with another MMA guy.
Yeah.
Not even a boxer. And dude knocked him cold out. Like, just knocked him out.
No, I didn't hear about that.
Yeah.
It's funny that didn't come up because they have their big promotional tour that started when I got back and you were still on vacation.
It was right after the promotional tour. Right after the promotional tour. This boxer came out. He's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm going to put all my money that I have in the world, all my life's earnings on Floyd Mayweather because I knocked him out and I don't know how to box.
Wow.
And it's got me like, because I was in the same boat as you were, okay?
It's funny because the line has gotten a lot closer than it did in the beginning. So, I mean, if you had the money
Strangely enough, with the news that comes out of the sparring guy knocks him out. But maybe that's part of the ruse, okay? Maybe sparring partner comes in and says, you know what? I'm going to knock you out. I'm going to tell the world I knocked you out. We're going to try to move that line up so we can make some more money. I don't know. It's betting in sports. Nothing is certain. But he said that he thought there was a 99.9% chance that Floyd Mayweather was going to win that fight. So he said he's put his life savings on.
I'm glad you told me that because maybe I won't throw $100 away then.
But now, I don't know. I think it's part of the question everything. The fix is in. All that. What if there is? I mean, I don't trust boxing.
It's true.
I don't trust boxing at all. It's hype and promotion. It's a show. Yet it's a show that gets millions of dollars bet on it.
I'm going to watch it.
What if you bet on Wheel of Fortune? Wheel of Fortune's a show.
How do you bet on Wheel of Fortune?
I don't know. They would figure out a way if it was legal.
Hashtag National Hot Dog Day. I know you love 7-Eleven. I know you love hot dogs. The two together today. 7-Eleven's going to move 7.2 million pounds of hot dogs from Marathon Enterprises. Boy, that's a nice contract to sign up. In one day, 7.2 million pounds.
Are they free?
I doubt it, but they're, it's
how are they
National
moving
Hot Dog Day.
How are they moving them any differently than they would on a regular day?
I'm guessing they're discounted. Maybe they are free. It doesn't say if they're. I would figure in this story it would say they're free if they're free. It says 7-Eleven sells the most grilled hot dogs in North America, 100 million hot dogs annually, and today they'll move 7.2 million pounds of hot dogs. And this other story is really kind of interesting. They've been talking a lot about this glacier, hashtag climate change. This glacier that broke away from the ice pack or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Well, they found two people today. Did you see this headline?
So disturbing.
These Switzerland's.
So disturbing.
These two Swiss in Switzerland. Apparently they went missing back in 1942, and they just found them frozen in ice. Now their youngest, who is now their only left child, who is 79, says she can finally give them the proper funeral, and that her and her brothers and sisters have been looking for her parents ever since they disappeared. Kind of crazy, huh?
It's crazy and disturbing.
I want to see pictures, though. I haven't seen pictures.
When they found them, they were in like World War II era garb.
Yeah, well,
and everything was preserved because they were in ice.
I want to see them.
Apparently, they went out to go milk the cows and got caught in a. How do you get caught in a glacier?
Yeah, that's a good question, isn't it? Was it like a blizzard that happened and then it came in and took you out?
I mean, a glacier coming, you got to see that, You're like, all right, I'm monitoring that situation with one eye.
Watch out, honey, don't get caught in that glacier. Oh, Helen, I'll be fine.
It's time to play Know the Show with Jeff and Jeremy in the morning.
All right, we got tickets to see Kid Rock, California Mid-State Fair. We're going to give you a couple of admission tickets as well. Now, these are not the front row tickets, but they are tickets to see him coming up on Sunday with us, July 23rd. 543-3693 are the numbers to get through. If you know the show, you'll be a winner.
Okay, so I think Yellow Card and Dishwalla and Ugly Kid Joe are going to have a problem with this statement. I'm going to say it. Okay. Who did Jeremy, this is a know the show question. Who did Jeremy this morning try to compare to the greatest band to ever come from Santa Barbara? Toad the Wet Sprocket.
Yellow Card was more of a 2000s band, wasn't it?
Yeah. Okay. I'm not going to discredit their presence on the Santa Barbara scene. I'm just saying that the greatest band to ever come from Santa Barbara is Toad the Wet Sprocket. Jeremy tried to compare somebody to them this morning. If you know who that is.
I just remember.
No. Not even in the same arena. If, like, Toad the Wet Sprocket is Santa Barbara, this guy is like Nova Scotia.
543-3693.
By the way, on Ranker, they did a list of, and Rankers, you know, everybody can contribute and you can move the needle on this. They did a list of bands from the 90s, and we might be off with our over-assessment of Matchbox 20 because Matchbox 20, according to everybody who has voted on Ranker, comes in at number 43 for bands from the 90s between Whitney Houston and System of a Down.
Okay. Hi, good morning, Mel.
Hi.
Who was it that I recommended that Jeff should check out?
Yeah, because he likened them to Toad the Wet Sprocket, which I think is wrong. But
I think they came out at the same time.
He.
Or he, yeah. Who was
what
it?
about Hootie and the Blowfish?
No, you're wrong, Mel. You're wrong.
Sorry,
you're
Mel.
wrong.
I like Hootie, but that was not who we were talking about at the time. Have a good day. This is Chuck. Hey, Chuck.
How you doing?
Good. Who was it?
What was the question again? It was who he should pick on?
I brought up Toad the Wet Sprocket. Jeremy said, "Oh, if you like Toad the Wet Sprocket, you should like these guys or this guy, I should say."
Yeah.
Oh shoot, I remember that. What is that? It was.
It's a tough one today.
It was.
These are Kid Rock tickets that you're playing for, so you know. I mean, believe me, if you try to take a guess, you're not going to get this today.
You know what I'm going to do?
Because I still don't know who you're talking about when you say this.
I'm going to play the music.
No,
yeah, because I don't think anybody's going to get it, even if I play the music.
Somebody had to be listening.
Play the music. Play the music.
All right, I'm going to play the music. All right, yeah, thank you. Cut that. Here we go. Take a listen to this. Reason, give me a reason.
This is nothing like Toad the Wet Sprocket.
No, it's nothing like them. It just came out of the same.
But I brought up Toad the Wet Sprocket. You're like, oh, you know who you should like is this guy. This
guy was awesome. I have the CD.
By the way,
he also does it all in Spanish, which sounds really cool. But it doesn't sound like something a guy would typically listen to. So I didn't listen to it around my friends, Chuck. I would just listen to it in my car because I had a 4.5-hour drive from school to see my parents.
It's a terrible song.
Chuck, I know you don't know, Chuck, but thanks for listening.
All right.
See you later.
Toad the Wet Sprocket comes in between Hanson and the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones on Ranker's list at 182 for best band of the 90s. By the way, number 1, Nirvana.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. So, but number 3 in best bands from Santa Barbara.
Oh, come on. I wanted to play another song.
Behind Katy Perry and Jack Johnson.
All right, but it's going to make me, listen to 15 seconds of an ad beforehand? All right, let's see if we get this person here. Hi, what's your name?
This is Jen.
Hi, Jen. Do you remember who the artist was?
Jen Blossom?
No, it was not the Jen Blossom.
No. Hey, good.
No. Jeff loves the Jen Blossoms, though. Okay?
All right, thanks.
All right. See if this rings a bell, everybody. All right. The year was 1992. This song made it up to number 19 with a bullet on the pop charts.
The bullet?
The bullet is here.
Isn't that more, if it made it to 19, isn't that more of a BB than a bullet?
Yeah, let's go BB. Pellet, maybe?
From number 20 to number 19 with a BB.
Hi, what's your name?
My name is Maria, but I want to know if I win, am I out of the front row thing? Because I sent a video in.
Do you want to, do you want to take your chances on that? Do you want to take
because I know the answer because I've been listening to you guys all day, but...
This is bird in the hand or two in the bush? I mean, this is an ethical dilemma for you.
Hold on a second. Let me go ask.
Okay.
Oh, I don't think she should. There's no way she should. You win tickets to Kid Rock, and you got the sure thing, or you want the front row. Okay.
Well, I'd rather have front row, of course.
I'm taking the sure thing. I want in the venue.
You know what? You can't win the front row tickets.
See, I was right.
You got to wait 30
days. You didn't even have to go consult anybody, Jeremy.
Well, I know.
Okay.
Just live by that rule, okay?
But
whether it be Toad the Wet Sprocket being the best band from Santa Barbara,
you're always right. No,
oh my God.
Or that she is not eligible to get the tickets to Kid Rock for the front row.
So tell me, where are the tickets?
Just know that I'm always right.
I don't know where the tickets are, but I know they're nowhere near the front row. But you're guaranteed to go for free.
But I clean RVs really fast, and I think I might have a good chance.
Well, you got to tell me now, or I got to move on because our show's over. It's time for us to leave.
Mike is chomping at the bit. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna take my chances on the front row one.
Okay.
Are you really
leaving it open?
Wow.
To somebody else?
Let's give her a big
Yeah.
All right, Maria. We love your video.
Good.
We love the video.
But there's like still 3 days of video submissions, and people have been probably slow playing it and waiting to see what the other videos that are coming in are before they submit theirs to see what would be the best video. Like, I see a scenario in which Friday morning we are getting an onslaught of videos at hashtag. What is that? KZOZ all summer long.
All right, so here's the deal. We got to wait for another video. All right,
KZOZ all summer long. That hashtag is going to be busy over the next couple days. I don't think I would have done what Maria did. If I knew the answer, I would have got the tickets just to get in the venue, for sure.
This was not a hit, but it's by the same guy. It was on the same album, 1992. Actually, this was released to radio in 93.
I have not heard a single one of these songs before in my life.
Hi, good morning. What is your name?
Jared.
Jared, what is the guy's name?
Is it Tracy Chapman?
No, it's not.
That guy's pretty attractive. He's a handsome man. That
He's a good-looking dude right there. 543-3693. This guy came out same time as Toad the Wet Sprocket, and I used to listen to him at the same time. I did say his name earlier.
On the same playlist before playlists.
Right, they were on the Jeremy West playlist.
They were on your mixtape.
I made a mixtape.
Little Toad and a little this guy.
What's this guy's name right here? I said it earlier. Are you there?
Hello?
All right, goodbye. Hi, good morning. What's this person's name? All right. Hi, good morning. What is this person's name?
John Cicada.
That is correct.
Wait,
that is correct.
It's not cicada. He's not a bug.
Enough.
He's
Nobody
not a bug.
knows who he is.
It's not cicada. It's John
Cicada.
Oh,
same
sorry.
difference.
Cicada.
Nobody knows who he is, except for he could be mistaken for Christian rock, just like Toad the Wet Sprocket.
What is your name?
Christine.
Christine.
Good job.
Congratulations. Christine. You would love John Cicada, I promise.
Or Cicada.
You're going to the show. Put your hands in the air. Put your hands together with me, Jeff.
I'm mad.
I'm listening to this all day, man. This is a throwback. I haven't listened to this in over 10 years.
I'm mad that Ranker puts Toad the Wet Sprocket at number 3 for bands from Santa Barbara. But then I look at Jack Johnson and Katy Perry. I'm like, okay, they have experienced some success.